the winner. What we need is a rule change at the Racing Commission level. We'll be ready to roll. Somebody's trying to stop it.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
So that was yesterday's show with Bet Saracen's Chief Marketing Officer, Carlton Safa, and he told us right then and there, that's kind of a couple snippets within our conversation. It's about a 15-minute interview. Highly encourage you, if you're more invested, more interested in hearing about that NIL conversation, which has been all over social media the last couple days. It's worth your time. We're going to replay a couple of those clips this morning because a day early, Tommy, that was a lot of beefs for people. We've got our What's Your Beef Wednesday today, which I guess people want to sink their teeth into kind of what you just heard right there, but that got people hot and bothered yesterday.
Well, I think we're still trying to all understand what's actually going on here, and I think Carlton really gave us some great knowledge and insight to his angle of the story, which I think a lot of people can grasp onto. And that is a great place to start on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richards Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. The reality is there's some changes that have to be made at the state government level. There's some interpretation of law that, the state attorney general, has got to, figure out, is this truly legal or not? There's probably going to be maybe some challenges to that. There's also a competitive nature between two authorized gaming institutions, Oaklawn being one, and we reported the story yesterday of their $500,000 donation to the foundation. But there's a lot of angles and a lot of layers to this story, and you want to say, well, there's a lot at stake for each interest. You just heard from the Saracen side, hey, they've got the technology, they invested the money to create it to make this possible, and they don't want to make a dime off of it. That's their stake in this, because they.
Does that sound too good to be true, though?
Perhaps. I wouldn't fault anyone for taking that side of it. Now, is there goodwill? Is there branding? Is there awareness of their platform to be gained?
Added value, if you will, as we like to say in the radio business.
Well, what added value? Other than you're going to have to download their app, they're going to get your data to use it, but. But when it comes to the dollars and cents, I believe what Carlton Saff is saying there. They're not, if there's $100,000 that goes in the pot this week, the winner gets $50,000, and the university's NIL fund gets $50,000.
Where I come from, the reason I say that there's no investment, when he said that is, if you're more likely to do this 50-50 on Bet Saracen, then I would think you're more likely to bet and do other things on bets. That's kind of where I'm coming from on that. Is that fair?
That's a fair take.
Okay.
But I don't think that's their motivation. If that's
he is an Arkansas grad, we should point out, and his wife's an Arkansas grad. They're at Razorback games. They're fans. But this is
who stands to lose in all of this? Well, if another licensed casino with mobile gaming in our state is not technologically ready, which that appears to be the picture that's coming a little more into focus, because Carlton said yesterday they had to invest nearly $500,000 in the technology to make this even possible. And I'm sure that's part of his rub. Listen, we've spent $500,000 to make this go. Let's make it go. Who's harmed the most from this? Well, I would say all of us, because we all have a passion and a love for Razorback football. I talked about it being an amenity in our state, a good football program, much like a bike trail or Lake Ouachita or, the White River. That's an amenity. One of the reasons you like being here. A great football program that you're proud of, that you can brag about, that you enjoy going to see, is a amenity to your lifestyle.
Because Clay said that about Bama for however many years.
Well,
right?
John Tyson's the one that really put this in perspective when John Calipari was hired. But Alabama is a good example of that. But my point is, we all know NIL is a chief ingredient to have a good program in today's landscape of college athletics, not just for football, but for any program. So if this is a way to do it, and I believe Arkansans would be involved in this and would put their money behind this as they could and as they wanted to.
How many texts did we receive yesterday?
And I don't know if tickets would be $5, $1, $2. I have no idea what the platform would be. And, I don't see who gets harmed in all this.
Well,
the only harm done is by not doing it.
There's entities, like you said, that would get harm. And if you look at
are they any worse off than they are now?
Well, just to be very clear and blunt about this, Bet Saracen has the biggest market share sportsbook-wise in the state, and it's not close. Part of the reason is because they seem to have the technology and everything was well ahead of both Southland and Oakland. And so that's why they were able to pick up the majority of sports bettors in the state, not horse racing.
They've marketed at a much different level than their two competitors.
So if they have this now additionally, that would, again, hurt Oakland. And then from a government standpoint, they want their slice of the pie too, right?
Well, they're going to get it. Whoever wins it's going to pay taxes.
But is that the same? And I don't know this because this is not above my pay grade, but not necessarily my area of expertise. How much of, like you mentioned, the tax aspect, how much do they get of just the winnings versus the initial buy from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, then the winnings and other things? That's what I'm just wondering.
Stop. Are people that never buy a state lottery ticket going to buy one of these 50-50 deals to help NIL?
I think based on
Yeah. So I think the point is, this isn't people that buy lottery tickets, that buy scratchers, that are now going to quit doing that to do this. These are people that aren't participating at all in large numbers, in my belief. And that's my beef with this. This is a whole new pot of money in large sum that, I don't think the people that go into the Casey's that clog up the line and want to scratch their ticket while I'm just trying to pay for my dadgum 89-cent fountain drink, those aren't those people are going to keep doing that because they want the instantaneous win or loss. That's what they're after. But this is different. You're not buying it for really the gamble because odds are you'll never win, much like with many other forms like this. So 100% of nothing is what? Nothing. So if we don't do this, the state and the income tax you'd get, all that, you get 100% of nothing. But if we go about it, at least, you'd end up with, 7.5% or whatever, the income rate, it's adjusted, but those are the things that are driving me nuts. All right, What's Your Beef Wednesday underway. That's one thing that's grinding my gears.
We both agree on it. Look at that. Double beef this morning.
All right, so what's bothering you? You can call or text us 877-377-6963. Brought to you by Richards Country Meat Market. For the best meat in town, visit Richards Country Meat Market. Find them online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com or at 3042 North Market Avenue in Fayetteville.
So we'll unpack more of what Carlton had to say. Again, it was a really good conversation, and you could tell he was fired up like a lot of you were. So we'll play some of those clips this morning. We got Bobby Petrino clips, Malachi Singleton, and, of course, your starting quarterback, Talon Green. All that's coming up, plus Chuck Barrett at 6:30. We got Bo Mattingly at 7:20 and Clay Henry at a loaded morning rush here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here. HitThatLine.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, this is Landon Jackson, and you're listening to ESPN Arkansas. Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salad.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swart Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swart Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swart Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen, Arkansas. Swart Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
And anytime I get to talk to Chuck, they're privileged and an honor to speak to you. And as long as you, Ty, you know you're a little wet behind the ears.
Allen is able to find Morgan. He's free. He's in. Touchdown. Arkansas.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Got a couple reactions to our opening segment here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. We're going to get to some of those texts coming up in just a bit. Also, a few things that Bobby Petrino, Taylor Green, and Malachi Singleton had to say yesterday. Plus, Chuck Barrett joins us in 15 minutes.
Hey, summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crick hopper. Twitch it, pop it, walk it, swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crick hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rod and reel, 4, maybe 6 pound test line. You're going to find that to be a fun afternoon on the creek bank. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores everywhere. It's the Rebel crick hopper, made by Pradco.
So we got a message on X this morning that everyone seems to be interested in this, and they also say, Tommy, I've been listening to you for 18 plus years. I really appreciate you and the times that we have met.
Well, thank you. And who was that from? Undermine One. Hey, appreciate
Undermine One.
Appreciate that message. And we're not going anywhere. We're just moving time slots. Gonna get to sleep in a little bit later. So we'll be here from 9 to 11. And if you're not in the car at that time, just download the Hit That Line Now app, like many of you have already. Thousands of you have, and we'll be right here for you. From 9 to 11.
Jack and Van Buren asked the question, would the Saracen proposal support all Arkansas universities or just the Razorback? Now, we just spoke to Arkansas yesterday, but I did see Carlton on social media talk with an Arkansas State fan. I don't know if the Wonder Boys, the Bears, and other colleges in the state would have access to this technology.
No, he said that they would make this, if they wanted to do a UCA one, or if those entities wanted to go down that path, they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And first and foremost, just be honest, the first thing they need to get done and make this happen is for Arkansas, and then the others would hopefully follow suit on that. Let's see. Text from Jeremy in Clarksville saying, I'm 100% correct about the getting traffic and the bet and get promotions, this, and the idea if you did the 50-50 on Bet Saracen, you'd be more likely to bet and stuff. So that
perhaps, but that's not the question or the issue. The issue is if you have $100,000 in the pot, where does it go? And there's not a handle. Like you go and wager on a horse race. Well, like 17% of that goes to to what they call the handle to run the operations. They got to everybody's got to make a profit. This is a unique situation where, hey, $100,000 comes in, just to say for easy numbers, and $100,000 is going to go right back out. So, yeah, is there some secondary ancillary benefits because you're going to have to download their app and, give them your email address or something of that nature? Yes, but, that's not the point that's being made. The point is if $1 comes in, that $1 is going to be cut in half and go back half to NIL, half to the winner.
JT in Hot Springs, very pessimistic this morning. Says, I guess the university is more concerned with breaking their fans' hearts and bank accounts instead of using the resources to help us win and make it easier on the fans' pockets. And he also cites Oaklawn didn't do anything to help out the NIL Foundation. They gave to the Razorback Foundation, which helps pay coaches. There was a $500,000 donation by Oaklawn to the Razorback Foundation for those that missed it.
And that may appear that way on the surface. I'm not sure that's, I don't know. Once that money gets into the foundation, then it's behind their private wall, and they can do what they want with those funds. And who knows how that gets allocated there. But I do know this, it goes to support Razorback athletics. So, a $500,000 donation is nothing to sneeze at. And, hey, I saw where Coach Pittman, thanked the Sella family and Louis Sella yesterday for that. They should be commended for that donation because that's a sizable donation of any kind to any part of the university, particularly the foundation.
I think, in my opinion on this is, I'm not an avid sports gambler or bettor, but I have plenty of friends that are, and they'll bet regardless if the Hogs are good or not in any sports, football, basketball, and baseball. But what I have noticed in their tendencies is they are more likely to bet on any sports, particularly Arkansas sports, if Arkansas is actually competitive and good in whatever year they are. So I would think if there's a resolution to be made between Bet Saracen, Oaklawn, the government, whatever has to get done, that this would help all parties. Now, Bet Saracen,
the law needs to change.
Yes.
Or the gaming rules. Let's just put it that way. The gaming rules need to change.
I would think that this would benefit everyone. Now, it might benefit Bet Saracen more than anyone else. outside of Arkansas's NIL fund, but I think there's positives for everyone in this. The government,
see a lot of negatives.
Bet Saracen, Oakland, and if there is, someone find it for us. But I mean, you listened to it yesterday. I went back and listened to it last night.
Here's the thing, Carlton. There's nothing to stop Oakland or Bentley and over at the former dog track in West
Southland,
Memphis, Southland. There's nothing to stop them from doing the same thing in the same platform. They're not wanting or seeking an exclusive on this. But the rub is they're the only ones that have invested in the technology to make it happen.
Yeah. And
so they would have, once again, a lead in this regard. And they've been the leader with mobile sports wagering. You know, the monthly reports show that, you know, the vast majority of mobile sports wagering is going through the Bet Saracen app right now.
And maybe you're just hopping in for us with the first time like Dalen is in Hot Springs. Let me just treetop it for you. Bet Saracen has created this technology. It's a 50-50 drawing. It's in Kansas City. It's in various other professional sporting events that you maybe attended. High schools in different pockets of our state have this, where 50% will go to NIL, 50% will either go to it's the winner / charity, right? If no one wins, it goes to charity, correct?
Well, somebody's going to win because the only way to enter is to buy the chance.
Charity somehow incorporated in this, but we had on Carlton Safa yesterday, who is the chief marketing officer of Bet Saracen, and this was the kind of his basis on the 50-50 drawings.
Saracen's built a technology stack that can do what we all know is 50-50 drawings, right? If you've been to a Chiefs game, you've seen it. You've been to a Cardinals game, you've seen it. Jerry Jones just started doing them in Texas. They're at Astros games too, so Cowboys, whatever. But we've got the ability to do 50-50 drawings statewide on a mobile device. And somebody, somewhere along the line, is trying to stop us. One of the stop points has been some disinformation. And I use the word disinformation because I'm trying to be polite, not say lie. But disinformation by saying that the Hogs don't need NIL money, which to me is a fairly desperate attempt to slow down what, frankly, we think is a pretty creative idea.
And the word you used. Yeah, there it is. There it is. I was going to say, I heard Tommy say that 3 or 4 times yesterday. Preposterous. Preposterous.
To even try to float the idea that they don't need NIL funding just cuts the legs of credibility out of whoever's saying this. Whoever is floating this, because I hadn't seen anyone's name attached to that. Maybe you have, but I haven't. But you know, the bottom line is, I think when you get into the legalese and the technicalities of what the state laws and regulations are versus what's allowed, it's game of chance versus game of skill, and that's where either a tweak or a change or an amendment or a new gaming rules got to be put in play to make this it, because this is a game of chance. And a lot of the casino gaming and things that are allowed by law under the gaming rules are considered games of skill. There is no skill in a 50-50 drawing. All right, Chuck Barrett coming in just a minute. We got more to get to throughout the morning, plus your beefs on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. Brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands at the best prices, a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley's, and they're bringing Brinkley soon to the Fort Smith area in early 25. Seek, explore, discover with our friends at Wheels RV.
Y'all are talking about line camping going to Eugene, Oregon. Who wants to live in a tree house in the rain all the time?
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
The first thing people notice when they drive up to your home or walk in any room of your house is the color. And if you're looking for the perfect color and the perfect paint, you'll find it at the Paint Store in Van Buren. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. The Paint Store in Van Buren gives you hometown service from people who know what they're talking about. You don't have to chase them down to get help at the Paint Store. They're always there to help you get that perfect color and that perfect match for your project. If you're looking for the perfect paint color, it's at the Paint Store, 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts.
Point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forest Grin legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforestgrin.com. That's goforestgrin.com. Forest Grin Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
The fact that Paris Hilton looks like she does, I don't know how old she is now, but she is still so hot.
21 years older than she was then.
That is a good point. But yeah, Chuck, what do you remember about that show? And you watched the reboot?
No, and I didn't watch it then, and I won't watch the reboot now because I'm not their target demo. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
but I remember the phenomenon very well. That's kind of my old stomping grounds, if you want to know the truth.
Talking about the Simple Life reboot there. Cole Ritchie, Paris Hilton made their way back to Arkansas last weekend. Alligator Rays apparently was their pit stop. So I had some fun with that earlier on this week. Well, we made a big announcement yesterday at 8 o'clock. Most of you know what it is. If you missed it, we'll kind of go over more of it with Chuck coming up in just a sec.
Brought to you by the Fence Man, the company we love when it comes to any, I get people all the time ask me about the Fence Man. What's their number? They can't remember. I'll give it to you. Hey, can they do
782-3936?
There you go. Can they do this kind of fence? Could they build me an 8-foot wood privacy fence? Could they do a deal around my trash enclosure? Could they, I get all kinds of fencing questions. Hey, I bought a house with an automatic gate, and it's not working right. Will they work on it even though they didn't build it? Yes. 782-3936 is the number. Small jobs, repair jobs, large industrial and commercial jobs. I mean, they're doing at the Air Force Base, at the Air Base in Fort Smith right now, a lot of work going on. They've been doing stuff on that level and that scale. They also built a 8-foot wood privacy fence around my mom's backyard as well. So, I mean, they can handle any kind of fencing project, large or small. 782-3936 is their number. 479-782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Chuck Barrett joins us now, and if you're paying attention to the last 24 hours or so, you know the news that we gave yesterday. And Chuck, first, glad you're here. This will be your last time with us on the Morning Rush as you'll start getting ready for the new Chuck and Bo show on the 26th. But, man, I just want to thank you for the last couple of years. I want to start there. It's been a lot of fun, and I think we've all had grown and learned together here over the last 2 years with your time on the Morning Rush.
I know it was a busy day around there yesterday, and it was a good day, and I'm just, really grateful. I'm excited, grateful to you guys for letting me barge in here a couple of years ago, and I'm excited about working with Bo, very excited about working with Bo, and looking forward to that. And, the thing that when you really step back and look at it, and this is what I think may be the best part of all of this, is that for our audience, you're going to have local programming from 6 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night. Now, I am of the opinion that all great radio, with a handful of exceptions, all great radio is local. And there's going to be local Arkansas sports talk from 6 in the morning to 7 at night. And I think the big winner in all of that are the people that listen to this radio station.
Yeah. Or as it was put to me, will be all sports from 6 to 2 and then Ruskin and Zach. So
well, fair enough. Fair enough. I didn't say all sports. I said local.
He's specific
There's
about
a
that.
difference.
Yeah.
You know how many clients made that joke to? I had at least 3 clients make that exact same joke to me yesterday.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I got a kick out of it.
But, we're looking forward. Bo's going to be with us in just under an hour. Clay's going to be here at 8. So we're going to have,
Clay has the vantage point of having worked with both of us.
All of us. So
he knows what it's like.
Or we know what, or we all know what it's like to work
well,
with
maybe
Clay.
so. Depends on your vantage point.
I guess so. So, all right. What's Your Beef Wednesday? Brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. We've been jumping into, and we're going to get to Petrino and some of that audio because I thought that was intriguing yesterday. But Chuck, I'm sure you followed, read Wally's column yesterday. You've seen a lot of what's been going on with this NIL and this 50-50 ticket. I think we're all still trying to sort through the layers of it. We had Carlton Safa on yesterday. I don't know if you got to listen to that with everything going on, but I think this is one of the most interesting conversations going on around our state. What's your take on what's happening right now?
There's a lot to unravel. It's an interesting story, and it's going to be decided within the walls of the state capitol. First off, everything that we're talking about right now is legally impossible at this point. Now, it doesn't mean that it won't become legally possible, but it's legally impossible right now. There's debate on whether or not a rule change is required or whether or not a law change is required, from what I understand. There are, when you get into issues like these, the devil is always in the details. And it's broken down by smart marketing people into simplified form, to where anytime you are engaged in any kind of campaign, you want to simplify the issue. You're either for it or against it. The gray doesn't matter anymore. And again, I think this is going to be obviously it's a legislative issue. And those who are going to decide this, they've got to weigh a lot of things. So this issue's far from decided. Clearly, the timing is not coincidental, given the fact that football season's about to begin.
Yep.
So there's a sense of urgency. I know. Clearly there's a sense of urgency in what we've read the last couple of days. But this is, again, going to be something that I'm certain is going to be very, very hotly debated, maybe behind closed doors. But I think this is far from decided.
On this program before, we've cited Ohio State head coach Ryan Day saying that they needed $13 million to keep their roster together. Well, when Carlton came on with us yesterday, this is what he said is the amount of money that Arkansas needed NIL-wise to compete regularly.
My understanding is that we need an immediate infusion on an ongoing basis of at least $600,000 a month for Razorback football. So one-time gifts of, $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 are great. But if someone gave, say, $500,000 to NIL one time, that doesn't even fix us for 1 month. So what Saracen has proposed is an NIL drawing mechanism that would allow people anywhere in the state of Arkansas to buy a ticket, and we would do weekly drawings where we would make no money, not a dime. We will just provide the technology. Half the money goes to NIL, and half the money goes to the winner. We don't give Coach Pittman the tools to do his job. If we don't win games, that's not his fault. And I'm not shilling for Sam. I'm saying our job as a fan base is to provide the team the tools to get it done. And we are not going to get it done by writing a check of a couple $100,000 here or there. Thank you to everyone who gives. But this idea actually came to us from the Edge Collective.
$7.2 million if you add $600,000 times 12. But
that's just additional money to what they're already got. Chuck, I thought the interesting thing of everything you said there was this was an idea that came to us from the NIL Edge Collective. This is something the U of A needed help and partnered with one of the university's partners. I mean, I know you're well familiar with their brand and part of Learfield's broadcast and signage and all the different things. They're clearly a partner with the university. I thought that was the most interesting thing was one of the tail end of his comments there.
Well, I heard what he said. I'm not sure exactly what the conversation was there. I wasn't privy to it, but I did hear what he said. Yes. Again, it's a complicated issue, and it is a political issue. And here's the thing that lawmakers have to weigh is public policy versus, or maybe not versus, but including, support for schools and athletic programs. I don't think this is as simple, frankly, as it's been made to sound, in terms of how it transpires. Principally, it's not hard to disagree with this, but I've just been around it enough to know that when you've got issues that are decided within the walls of the state capitol, it's just not as simple as maybe we as sports fans make it out to be. And I don't think that we should be naive in that respect. I don't know, and I don't understand all the layers in this. I spent yesterday trying to figure a lot of it out, to be very honest. It's not every day somebody walks in and gives the Razorback Foundation $500,000. And so there are things that are going on beneath the surface right now. But I don't understand all the layers of that. I'm not privy to a lot of those conversations. I know what's been said publicly. But I've also, again, been around long enough to know that there are probably issues that we've not discussed on this program yet.
Yeah.
that are going to have a big bearing on whether or not this ever comes to pass.
And whether it's a legislative issue or it has to go to a state vote, which there would not be time to get it on a ballot in November. If that was the, it required a vote of the people, and I don't know that it's going to go to that level. You got to remember, our legislature doesn't meet it's not like Congress in Washington, D.C., where they meet, basically year round, have their sessions. Our state legislature will start getting back next year, but this isn't a problem that state government can easily solve overnight or at the snap of a finger, because they only meet every other year unless it's a special session. They're not calling a special session for this issue.
Yeah, I don't know that it's, and again, I'm not going to wade too deeply into this because I'm not informed enough.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be candid here and say none of us are. But I do know that the governor may very well have the final say in all of this. And it's very easy sometimes when you're engaged in a public relations campaign to say, well, this person's anti-Razorback or anti-Red Wolf or anti-UAPB if they don't go along with this. And I don't think that's true either.
No, I agree.
So my point in saying all this is I'm not sure that this is not going to be a much more bitter fight than perhaps the public understands. And frankly, when you are talking about a 50-50 raffle at a Razorback game, it should be debated. It should be debated. And the idea that even if the rule is changed, or even if there's an attempt to change the law, the idea that there's not going to be opposition to this is a little bit naive. I'm not disagreeing with anything Carlton said, and I don't want to make it sound like I am. I'm just saying that anyone who's ever watched state government understands that it's never as simple as it sounds.
We should be.
And so there's going to be more to come on this, I'm sure.
It also, again, this is obvious, but it should be pointed out, we are on the Bible Belt. You always refer to my friend's gambling habits are a little different, Tommy, than, let's say, your friend's gambling habits. It's just minor.
Well, compared to our grandparents who had no gambling habits.
Yes, correct. So, it's just different nowadays. Now, talking about, again, if you want to listen to the full conversation, you can do so. Hit thatline.com, YouTube. Carlton kind of expanded on what's needed for this to happen.
We called our tech folks who built that Saracen and said, get it done, and spent close to $500,000 just building the tech stack. What we need is a rule change at the Racing Commission level, and we'll be ready to roll. And I am confident this thing will throw off a couple $100,000 a week ongoing.
The Racing Commission, again, I'm like you, Chuck. I read Wally's column. I tried to read some of the different things on social media yesterday that Carlton pointed out that this needs to be changed, blah, blah. Some of this stuff's just over my head, but I don't, again, know the difference necessarily from the Racing Commission.
Well, the Racing Commission oversees the gaming laws and the Racing Commission, that they have the purview over all those rules and laws in our state that involve wagering, both online and at Oakland, at Southland, those type of things. So that, Chuck, that's my understanding is why the Racing Commission would be brought up in this conversation.
But it goes back to the question, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but there is some question about whether or not the Racing Commission has the authority to just change the rule, or if a law must be changed in order for that to happen. There's debate about that, and that's why I say a minute ago, and I say this respectfully. It's not as simple as breaking down, well, are we in the Bible Belt? Do people like gambling? Are people against gambling? That simplifies the argument. When you're talking about government and changing laws and things that are going on from a legislative level, it's much more complicated than saying we should be gambling or we shouldn't be gambling or they're going to make this much money. There's just a lot of factors that are going to come into play here, and people try to simplify the issue. Look, that's what marketing people do. They try to simplify the issue for you. And that's what's being done here, and it should be done here. Yeah. I'm not saying that's wrong in any respect. I'm just saying that it's going to be there's just more to it than that.
Yeah, and from some of the things I've read, one of the key definitions and one of the key things that this may pivot off of is the difference in game of chance and game of skill. And that's where, people above our pay grade that have helped design the laws in our state for wagering and for gaming, for the laws that have been on the books, they got adjusted when, mobile wagering was brought in and the lottery was brought in. And we've really evolved from a wagering standpoint in our state over the last 20 years, probably less than that if we really sit down and look at the timeline. But I just know when you look at these things and the things I've read to educate myself, those terms are things you got to pay attention to. Games of skill and games of chance. And games of skill are viewed differently than just, hey, I'm going to throw $5 in and hope to win the raffle.
Where does slots go on that?
Well, that's again beyond my. But again, those are the things that go into when the lawyers and the politicians and the power brokers, go to work on deciding this issue. That's going to be at the crux.
Never as cut and dry as when lawyers and politicians get it.
Last thing on this, Taylor Greenwood brings up the point I was going to make. If this is going on at high schools and stuff across the state, right? What is the difference between?
It's technically not legal.
Well, how many high schools have you been at that have do it? No one's gotten persecuted for that or any reason, right? Because it's the biggest brand in the state, and all of a sudden people have an issue with it.
More attention.
It's happening everywhere. So that's my point. If it's that big of a deal, then why haven't you cracked down on it statewide?
I'm not sure that the public has an appetite for you cracking down on the booster club at your local high school for having.
But apparently,
that's the point. That's the point.
The general public does not have an appetite for that. Yeah. That's a great way to not be in office.
Second. Yeah. We'll get right back to it because I think this is an interesting subject. I do need to talk about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, for just a moment. If you're buying or selling a home, that's the name you need to remember. Hey, they've been around for 30 years. They've been doing business in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley and now in Missouri. And, what they do, and this is what they do best, is, they meet you right where you are. They listen to you. They understand your needs, whether you're a buyer or a seller, whether you're looking for that dream home or whether you've been transferred, whatever your situation is. Maybe it's your first time out. You're going to get the best train in the business when you partner with a Weichert agent, and you're going to get the local touch that you've always gotten from Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas, Washington and Benton counties. They're in Fort Smith, Branson, and you can always log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
Brent's phoned in from Searcy. He's got some thoughts this morning on this. Brent, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Ty, Chuck, and Tommy? First off, Chuck, let me congratulate you on your new venture.
Well, thank you, Brent. Full steam ahead.
What time are y'all gonna be on?
6 bells. 0600.
6 in the morning?
6, yeah, in the morning. It's
amazing. What's happened to
people get up there? Can you believe it?
What's happened to Tommy and Ty? They're
sleeping in.
He goes,
we're on the front line, buddy.
We're done.
So what time are y'all gonna be on now?
Midnight to 2.
Well,
we're going to be on 9 to 11.
9 to 11.
9 to 11.
Give some more time for heaters.
Oh, there you go. I got to go fire me one up here in a minute.
New lineup, 6 to 9, Chuck and Bo Show. Morning rush, 9 to 11. And then business as usual the rest of the day. Halftime, 11 to 2. Ruskin and Zach, 2 to 7.
Okay. Now, on to this gambling question that I tried to catch up on the other day. I caught it at the end of on one of the radio programs I listened to. I'm all for it, but here's my question: where does the money come from that they're gonna give out each week? If you're part of, where's that come from? Sarah's just
from
gonna
you?
get 600.
From you, from me, from Ty, from anyone that buys one of these raffle tickets.
From the pot. Yeah. All the raffle ticket money goes into a pot.
Okay, gotcha. Well, they better hope they get more than 10 people to buy, right?
Well, I'm sure their goals are a little higher than that. Yes.
And how is the NIL money going to be? I mean, you choose a team, and I guess if you win and you chose Arkansas State, the money go to Arkansas State.
I think each school, as I understand it, would have the right to opt into this kind of program. So you would either buy the University of Arkansas raffle ticket, or if they had a Arkansas State raffle ticket, you'd buy in that. It'd be a different drawing, different raffle, different pot of money.
Oh, okay. So you could really get in on 3 different pots if you so desire.
Maybe more. I don't know, but the University of Arkansas in
Many as
Fayetteville
your
is the
heart's
one
desires, right?
The one in Fayetteville is the one that's bringing all the attention and conversation this morning.
Right. Well, I just want you to know, I'm all for it. Anything. I spend a lot. Let's see. I've wasted $30 a week a lot of times. I think I'd get more enjoyment out of trying to win a 50-50 lottery. I'm just telling you.
Brett, appreciate the call, buddy. Always good to hear from you.
All right. Bye.
And Chuck, you made a point earlier, and I think there's something here that we're not seeing. We don't know. We don't understand. Where I keep coming from, if this helps NIL and you can get better football players on campus, theoretically, you're going to have a better football team. Fair? Right? Theoretically. Okay? So, that being said, you talked about the football team earlier being like an entity, an attraction of sorts.
An amenity.
An amenity of sorts. I would think that it would help out not just Bet Saracen, Oaklawn, the government, the state. So while one party might benefit more being in Bet Saracen, I don't see why the others wouldn't also benefit as a whole. I need someone to tell me what the issue is on why this wouldn't get passed.
Well, I think the issue in the table, just my opinion, again, I think Chuck's right, and we're still all learning and trying to dive into the layers, but Carlton Safa told us yesterday they've spent nearly $500,000 to develop the platform to make this possible. My guess is others that are licensed to do such things, being Oaklawn and being West Memphis, they don't have the technology in place. They haven't made that investment, and they don't have the engine or the platform to do that yet. That would be my
guess.
Be my guess on that. They're not ready to wade into that water yet. So we're going to find out more as the story moves along. It's a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. You can stop in and see them for something great to put on the grill tonight. 3042 North Market Avenue in Fayetteville, and online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com. Another chance to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime. Ty, that's tomorrow. You can stop in at Hardee's, see you in Fort Smith, and we're just over a week away from giving this trip away.
Yep, I know people are excited about the upcoming game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. We've already got 12 qualifiers already, so we need more. We want you to participate. Come on by and see us this week, tomorrow, at Hardee's. Hour number 2 coming up. We'll talk Bobby Petrino. He had some things to say yesterday about your starting quarterback and the rest of that room.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baumwalker Stadium in Fayetteville. If you need to, you can shop us online at them webgram things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What'd you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment. Your partner in progress.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly cloudy skies with a chance of a shower or thunderstorm early across the north. Our high temperatures today, low to mid-90s. Mainly clear to partly cloudy sky tonight and overnight low to mid-70s. And a slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm Thursday, a high in the mid to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 15 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is driven by Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and online at rathauto.com. You're rolling with Rath on the Morning Rush.
All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
So my understanding is that we need an immediate infusion on an ongoing basis of at least $600,000 a month for Razorback football. So what Saracen has proposed is an NIL drawing mechanism that would allow people anywhere in the state of Arkansas to buy a ticket, and we would do weekly drawings where we would make no money, not a dime. We will just provide the technology. Half the money goes to NIL, and half the money goes to the winner. What we need is a rule change at the Racing Commission level. We'll be ready to roll. Somebody's trying to stop it.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. Got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
It is hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. I know some of you are unfamiliar with the soundbite that we just played from Carlton Safa yesterday, who's the Chief Marketing Officer for Bet Saracen. Some of the Bet 50-50 stuff we spoke of in the last segment, we'll come back to it this hour. We'll expand a little bit more on that. Get your calls and texts on our hotline at 877-377-6963. But we heard from Bobby Petrino yesterday, which is always big news. So we're going to get into some of what he said, plus Taylor Green and Malachi Singleton, as we keep it going here on hour 2.
And it is a What's Your Beef Wednesday, Ty, as you mentioned. Hey, what's going on the grill tonight? Whatever it is, you'll find only the very best at Richard's Country Meat Market. From the aroma of steak to the perfectly flavored gourmet burger that you may be craving right now, fresh kebabs and more, it's all there for a summer feast at Richard's Country Meat Market. 3042 North Market Avenue, just off College in Fayetteville, and always online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
So Taylor Green is the guy that you're excited to watch in 15 days from now when you take on UAPB. There are other guys that you've had a chance to see in person, not necessarily at the full extent, one of those being Isaiah Satania. And Bobby Petrino, in his years at Arkansas, was able to utilize speed. You think about Joe Adams, Jarius Wright, Greg Childs, Kobe Hamilton, some of the outstanding in-state guys that went to the University of Arkansas. Kid played right up the road, Harmon Field at Fayetteville High School. Here's what Coach had to say about what he's seen from Isaiah thus far.
I really like Satania. He's having a great fall. He's super fast. He runs with the ball really well after the catch, and he can adjust and jump and catch the ball when it's not a perfect throw. So that makes it hard to cover.
I know when we had Clay on last week, Tommy, he talked about the crossing routes that Petrino loved to run. Didn't actually see those at A&M a lot last year. We heard in practice Isaiah was utilized all the time. It just didn't necessarily translate to the field in Dan Enos' offense. Based on what you've seen in practice, he's a starter right now. I mean, most people expect him to get the ball a good chunk of times this year in a variety of ways based on what Sam said, Petrino said, and based on what we didn't see, I guess, last year.
Well, and you know, Petrino went through a pretty good list of the people he thinks are weapons for him. What was the old phrase, Chuck? FTS, feed the studs. He likes to fight, he's pretty quick to identify who his studs are. And get the ball to him in a variety of ways, whether they're out of the backfield, throwing to a back, wide receivers, as you mentioned. And I expect Luke Haas to be one of those studs that gets fed a lot.
I would imagine he will, and I think Satania's going to get the ball.
Yeah.
Petrino's really big on yards after catch. Now, that is a combination of the receiver and where the ball is, where it's thrown. But yards after catch was always a big emphasis point with him. and we'll see. And I would imagine we'll find out during the course of the year that if you're not capable of getting yards after catch, that's going to be a point against you. So if Isaiah can do that, and I think he will, I suspect Isaiah will be a big part of what they do this year.
And it seems like, I know Broden's been a little banged up, turf toe, and some other stuff he's been dealing with. There's been some other guys that have been dinged up, Andrew Armstrong and whatnot. The offensive line has had to deal with that same thing. I mean, guys, I would think that's pretty difficult on not just Taylon Green, but also Bobby Petrino. You're trying to implement this new offense. You're trying to get your guys ready in 15 days, and you've just had injuries you've kind of had to deal with through the first scrimmage. I guess you'll have the next one tomorrow, and then also some other parts of fall camp with your wide receiver core.
There's never been a preseason camp where there weren't injuries. There's never been a time when you were 15 days away from a game when you've not had guys nicked up. I wouldn't worry about that part. In fact, I think in some instances it can be a blessing in disguise, because if you're able to get the starter back by the time you play that first game, you've also gotten work for a guy that you may need to be a starter 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks into the season. It also gives you an opportunity to cross-train on the offensive line, and I think that's important. So that's yes, you're right. It's more difficult, I'm sure, as a coach to fully implement everything you want to do when you don't have everybody out there. But that's one of the hazards of preseason camp.
So you've got a couple guys that you're familiar with in the wide receiver core. Guys like Isaac Tesla, I mentioned Armstrong, Tyrone Broden, and Isaiah Satania. Then there's the new pieces. There's freshman TJ Brown from Bentonville. I should also mention Jaden Wilson, who's been here for a while as well. But the kid that was at least the popular name in the offseason was Monte Harrison, who's friends with former Arkansas offensive lineman Limbo Parks, the connection there. Petrino specifically got asked about the now 29-year-old, turned 29 recently, and says he can help us.
Every time you meet somebody, or the players meet somebody nowadays, the first thing they do is Google them, right, and look out and see them stealing a home run out in center field. So immediately, it's great credibility. But then he comes out and practices hard, catches a ball, runs good routes. He's definitely going to help us play a lot.
Guys, I got to be honest. When this news first came out, I thought it was a feel-good story. Arkansas is getting this 28, soon to be 29-year-old. This is cool. There's the occasional walk-on. I remember Brandon Whedon from years ago, who's actually a really good quarterback in college. I didn't expect Monte to see the field. I know the games haven't started yet, but sounds like he's going to play, according to your offensive coordinator.
Money's too valuable right now, whether it be NIL or scholarships, to just take a flyer on a guy like that. I mean, if they didn't think he could play, they wouldn't have brought him in here. I do think he'll have something to do with their offense this year. I also think C.J. Brown's going to. I know when they came out of spring, the thought was that he was kind of right there on the cusp of being in the top 6. That's one of the things that tomorrow's scrimmage, and as we move a little bit as we move into these last 2 weeks, I think we're going to have a better idea about who's going to play off the bench, or who's going to play as a backup, and I think he might be one of those guys.
I cracked that top 6. The thing about CJ, and we talked with him about this in the offseason, I think Casey Dix shared this a week or so ago when he had him on. He's got that speed element, and not that you don't have to have other parts and attributes as a wide receiver, but we know in Petrino's offense that is something that you have to have. And I keep coming back to the idea that you return every single catch from last year's wide receiver core. Now, Tommy, you point out, and you're right to do so, they went 4-8 last year. So sometimes that's not always a good thing, but you at least have a lot of these guys came over from lesser colleges. They had never played in the SEC before. They've got a year under their belt, and now you hope they can expand under an offense that's supposedly going to be better this year.
All right, Morning Rush Daily Question coming up. Bo Mattingly's going to join us in about 10 or 15 minutes. All of that ahead on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Farm Credit. If you're looking to spruce up your home or maybe build a brand new one, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas can get you started. Hell, let them show you how. There's a variety of options that One will perfectly fit for you and your family. They've been doing this for more than 100 years. Stop in any of their 25 locations around the state or go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com for Farm Credit of Western Arkansas.
All right, we got more Petrino stuff. We'll have some more thoughts on what Carlton Safa had to share with us yesterday, the Chief Marketing Officer of Bet Saracen, and a lot to get to. We've also got your hog update coming up in this hour. Stay with us.
Laura needs to take you and get a tune-up, it sounds like, then.
Well, I'm all for that. I don't know what that includes, but I'm for it. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is The Morning Rush.
We got to show them we are the University of Arkansas.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
Are we still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson
you said
Avenue,
something a little
#1
earlier,
golf shop
and-
for over
and-
30 years.
You know, when we
The
talk
Wave
about
Rural
amenities,
Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Time for the Carpath Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
I got a question.
Can I ask you kind of a weird question?
What do you think?
Actually, you did.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Check out Nate and Christian's place in Lowell online at CarpathSocial.com. CarPath Social, the getting out of the sun, making golfing fun.
All right, time for the Morning Rush Daily Question brought to you by CartPath Social. I just want to have a few more minutes of conversation really around this 50-50 raffle, the Bet Saracen Oaklawn conversation that I think is really fascinating when you look at it, the possibilities of the NIL money being raised. And I guess my question is very kind of bland and simple, but I think we're still all trying to figure this out. What do you think about it? I mean, because, Chuck, I think that's where we're all at. We're 24, 48 hours into this really becoming a mainstream story in our state, and I think that's where we all are at. We're consuming as much info on this as we can, and I think that's where the audience is at, is kind of, where we're leading the conversation. What do we think about it? Because I think you brought up a great point earlier. There's a ton of different layers and a ton of different power brokers involved in state government, and the state capital is ultimately where this will be decided.
I'm not principally opposed to the idea, but I got to know more about this. I'm anxious to learn more about it. I'm not principally opposed, but whether or not this is a battle, I don't know. I mean, there's just the NIL is important to fuel college sports. There's no doubt about it, and this is a creative way to come up with that money. Unfortunately, right now, it's not lawful. So, or fortunately, depending upon which side of the fence you sit on. So, I'm not principally opposed to it, but I'm just not sure I've got enough information on all this yet to really form a solid opinion.
I think you have to go back to when sports gaming initially came into the state. I was for it, but there was also the idea, and it's only Oaklawn, Russellville, Pine Bluff, and Hot Springs. Yeah. You only have 4. A lot of people didn't know that initially. They just saw, sports gambling. Let's do it.
Well, and
that's the layer that you're talking about.
When we get into questions like this, and it's not just with gambling. I mean, you look at a lot of the things that we're asked to vote on now, and they try to break it down to a simple question. Are you for gambling? Are you against gambling? Are you for gambling on your phone? Are you against gambling on your phone? Are you for recreational marijuana, or are you against recreational marijuana? Are you for medicinal marijuana, or are you against medicinal marijuana? It's never that simple. I mean, you're talking about laws being written and interests that must be served by the lawmakers. So, and then ultimately the governor's got to decide. So it's never the simple question that it's oftentimes presented to be, and it's not a simple question now.
I don't have glasses like you guys do, but my eyes do squint a little bit when I have to read the fine print and the stuff. They have the big, bold, do you want this?
Well, but
and then
it's one thing to read it, it's another thing to understand it. But here's what I believe. Fundamentally, I don't think many listening and many across a variety of generations really view a 50-50 drawing as gambling. I just don't think, because it happens.
You may be right.
It happens at our high school games. It happens at church socials. It happens in a variety of places and a variety of venues. I think at its very simplest, the way it would be executed in this state, I don't think most Arkansans would view you can't lump a 50-50 drawing. I think in most people's opinion, in with a game of craps or blackjack or slot machine. I just don't think it's the same thing in most of our opinions.
If you win,
But there's a difference in a 50-50 raffle at a high school game that helps buy new uniforms and a 50-50 raffle at a stadium with 70,000 people where the money is being handled by a gaming interest. I'm not saying that anything untoward would ever happen. I don't believe it would. I think everything would be on the up and up. I'm just saying from a public viewpoint perspective, I think those are things that must be considered.
this would be something that goes in the end justifies the means, where everyone has, I'd say everyone, a lot of people have a problem with NIL. That would not be the same thought process if Arkansas had just won 10, 11 games last year. I guarantee you there's a lot of Mississippi people that aren't fans of NIL, but that Ole Miss program is flush with cash. They've won 10 games the past 2 or 3 years. And
we don't really know the numbers. You don't know the numbers. I'm just going to say it. I don't either. Neither does Tom. But we don't know the numbers. We know they won 10 games.
But
we don't know their NIL
You can read between the lines when they had the number 1 transfer portal class. It's not hard to figure out, in my opinion at least, that, okay, these guys wanted to come to campus. Part of the reason of that is because they're probably getting a surplus of money.
Let me make this last point, then we'll move on. Bo Mattingly's going to join us in just a second. The NIL, the Edge Collective, and the way they're trying to do it now with getting 5,000 members to give them X number of dollars a month, right? $50, $100, whatever you basically subscribe to. That plan hasn't worked at the level they need right now. I think that's
It's
clear.
failed. You're putting it mildly.
Hang on, let me just make my point. They've got 740 some odd at the last report. This wouldn't lock anybody in. This week I want to participate and buy $10 worth, I can. I want to buy $100 worth, fine. If next week money's a little tight, I don't have to. I think this would be more appealing if it comes to fruition to a wider, broader spectrum of the fan base and the people of Arkansas. And I think therein lies the opportunity for it to succeed and to provide some ongoing revenue. All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. Ty is brought to you by Cart Path Social right here in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, appreciate everything that Christian and Nate do. They've got their launch party coming out starting next Thursday, 4 p.m. They've got the ribbon cutting. Then they've got the scramble tournament beginning on Friday. You get a raffle ticket if you participate. And then they will have snow cones on Saturday with their official launch party on Saturday. And the raffle will be announced at 7 p.m. You can check out the #1 indoor golf destination in Northwest Arkansas at cartpathsocial.com. It is located in Lowell, 122 Grant Place here in Lowell, Arkansas. All right, we made the announcement yesterday at 8 a.m., and I think most of you have heard about it via social media. Maybe you listened to the program yesterday, but we have changed our lineup here at ESPN Arkansas starting August the 26th. Not this next Monday, but the following Monday, the week prior, or the week of, I should say, the game in Little Rock between Arkansas and UAPB. The Chuck and Bo Show will be from 6 to 9 a.m. across all our platforms, hitthatline.com, all our radio stations. And then the Morning Rush will be from 9 to 11 a.m.
And 2 of the best to ever do it are going to join forces. I don't know if you guys are the 92 Olympic team, but we'll just call you the Dream Team as we welcome Bo into the show. Bo, are you ready to get up at 4:30 in the morning now?
Hey, this may be a little inappropriate. I apologize for doing this publicly. Is it too late to maybe move this to 7 start time?
Yes.
I was kind of sleeping on that last night, and I thought, 7 may be a better time.
Well, we've already the banner we're going to pull behind the plane over War Memorial in 2 weeks has already been that die's cast. So I mean, you're locked in.
Let's not fly it over War Memorial Stadium.
Well, man, it's good to hear from you. I know we've been, it seems like in constant communication the last few months as we've, worked through all the details to get to this point. But guys, for both of you, I'm excited. I'm excited for our listeners as much as anything. Secondly, I think Ty and I are excited to maybe not have the early wake-up call. But
thank you, Bo. Appreciate it.
I'm excited about, just what our listeners are going to get to enjoy and experience from 6A to 7P right here on ESPN Arkansas.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it. Chuck and I both have the itch to do this. And, I think when you get a little bit older, you kind of figure out if you don't figure it out early. And sometimes you do it and maybe you don't you don't know it, but what am I here for? What's my calling? What are some of my gifts? Everybody's got them. And Chuck and I have been talking for a few weeks, and it's really been a few months now, I guess. And we just both really enjoy what we get to do, and it brings us fulfillment, And so we thought, well, let's give it another run. And the more we've worked on it and talked about it, and look forward to it, man, it sure is exciting. And we're looking forward to being in this slot and talking about things like you guys were just talking about, and really digging in on it, having something that fans hopefully can enhance their experience with around the Razorbacks and more.
Yeah. Chuck and Bo will be joining forces August 26th, 6 to 9, the morning rush moving 9 to 11. Chuck, have you shown Bo how you like your coffee? Ty's finally got it down how to make your cup of coffee.
Black.
Is Bo going to be able to deliver?
The coffee makers are a little different than they were back in the day. They're fancy now. And there is one in the Northwest Arkansas ESPN studios that I've still not figured out. It would break me of coffee, to be very honest with you. So yeah, I'll have to make Bo's coffee.
Bo,
that's coming.
Bo, if I remember correctly, you were a smoothie man back in the day. Are you going to switch that up now that you're waking up at the crack of dawn?
Ty, that was like 20 years ago.
I know, man. It's been a while.
that was 14 years ago. Yeah, I still like smoothies, but yeah, I'm all caffeine all the time. I have a real healthy caffeine diet. There's no caffeine that doesn't find its way to me. But I'm pretty much black coffee guy too, with Chuck. So, we might just go old school, Chuck, and make a pot of coffee in the morning like the old break room days.
Well, they've got these Keurig machines now. You can have on one side you've got the K-cup, and then on the other side you've got the traditional pot. And I splurged and bought one of those, and it's awesome. You get your first cup right away, and then you've got the full pot for the remainder of the morning. It was really a genius move on their part.
Was that an Amazon delivery, or did you go shopping?
That was an Amazon delivery. I saw it, punched that button, and 2 days later it was at my front door.
There you go.
Isn't it amazing?
The Chuck and Bo Show starting August 26th. We've heard from Chuck for the last few weeks as we kind of get ready for football season. His thoughts on a variety of things with his football team. Bo, what's kind of your outlook? I know we're 15 days from the season. You guys will be cranking it up the first game week. What are your thoughts? What are your anticipations for the 2024 football season?
Well, I kind of boil it down to one thing, and it's never one thing, kind of like what you guys were talking about with the raffle. I thought Chuck made a great point about that. I to go backwards on that for a second. I think that whole idea is about so many other things. I think the raffle idea is great. In fact, I would like to do one for the Chuck and Bo Show. So we're going to see if it doesn't work with the Razorback, if we can maybe do this. That's another plan that we'll get into later. But with the addition of Petrino and Taylor Green, here's what I think you immediately fixed from last year. You lost 5 games by less than a touchdown or less. You bring an offensive coordinator who tried to turn a non-drop-back quarterback into a drop-back quarterback. I mean, KJ Jefferson looked comfortable waiting for uncomfortable waiting for the snap last year. And then you have an offensive line who couldn't protect. You got a quarterback who's not comfortable dropping back, and you're still in all these games that you lost. Petrino brings the opposite. He's going to take pressure off situations that aren't your strength. He's going to call plays to get the ball to the studs. It's just such a reversal of what you had there. I think it makes an impact on how the whole team feels about what they have in the locker room. And I think the chemistry is just better. It was off for whatever reason last year. Now, how many games does that win you? We can all sit here and talk about it, but we don't know. We don't know what everybody's going to be like. The thing about predicting games, it makes fools of us all. But we always look at the team that we're rooting for, and we don't always know until we see the games, what the teams you're about to play really have, and injuries play a role in all of those things. But hiring Petrino, I feel like, gave this team in this state hope.
Yeah.
And I think you're seeing that every time he gets in front of a microphone. People get excited. But having spent some time with Taylor Green over the summer, really coachable guy, really likable guy. I think he's liked by his teammates, and I think he's really talented. And you add him with Petrino, and I'm excited to see what happens.
See, I'm right there with. And yesterday, just watching those 20 or so minutes with Bobby Petrino, and one of the handful of times we're going to get to talk to the offensive coordinator this season. I believe he's worth a touchdown a game because of everything you just mentioned. The dysfunction last year, putting people in the right spots to spotlight their strengths. This team lost 5 games by a possession or less. I'm not saying they're going to win all 5 of those, but guys, I think he's worth 7 points a game just because of, Bo, everything you just mentioned. Now, does that mean you win 2 or 3 of those toss-up games? I can tell you this, our perspective on this season would be different if you had 2 or 3 more wins last year.
I just think you're better put together.
Yeah.
What that gets you, I don't know. But I know what you had last year, right? And it wasn't it didn't feel like it was put together well. For whatever reason, we can all point to all kinds of things, but it doesn't matter at this point. It matters when a team believes in what they have, like believes they can do some things. And those are the kind of, tangibles, intangibles, however you want to refer to it, that we don't understand as fans. We just see it play out. But I think there's a different, if you go to the end of last year, if you think about going into that Missouri game at the end of the year, and Hunter Yurachek coming out and saying that Sam Pittman was going to be back next year, I think we were all like, how are they going to sell any tickets? Because there just doesn't feel like there's a lot of hope right here. And then they did something that I don't think's ever been done anywhere before. They went and got a head coach who had been fired and brought him back as an offensive coordinator. And it really changed a lot of things. We'll see if it ends up making the difference some people thought it would. But the way we feel as a fan base is completely different than before that happened. And I think the team feels, not just because of Petrino, for that and other reasons, but I think they feel different.
Yeah.
And I think that will impact, whatever happens this year.
Chuck and Bo show starts August 26th right here where you're listening now, 6 to 9, Morning Rush moving 9 to 11. Now, Bo, I got to tell you, over the last couple of years, we've had some really fun and epic verbal fistfights. You guys going to be able to get in there and spar, mix it up a little bit?
Oh, man.
I mean, Chuck's got that. I'm going to tell you, Chuck's got that old man strength. You got to watch out for
This
him.
Mad Dog Francesa in Arkansas.
We're gonna have so much fun. Our goal really is just to create material that your afternoon guys can use.
Well,
so
we're gonna make it go sports. Come hell or high water, we're gonna make it go sports.
No, man, it's gonna be a blast. We're excited to have Bart Pullman on board as our producer. We're gonna have a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of back and forth. Chuck's a radio, like, you can't get it out of him. So Chuck, I know, is going to pick fights with me. And I'm really, like, I'm just aware of that. It's coming. It's coming. It's not going to be like the old days with Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. But we're going to have...
I don't have enough hair for that. There's not nearly enough hair for that.
Hey, it's two bold white guys here with faces for radio. It's perfect.
Yeah. Well, 6 to 9, starting in a week and a half, I guess. We got a lot of work to do between now and, I guess, the next 12 days, now and a week from Monday.
We sure do.
All right. Well, Bo, we are fired up about it, looking forward to it, and can't wait to be listening a week from Monday.
All right, guys. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it. And we're looking forward to being right here in less than 2 weeks.
All right. Newest member of the team, Bo Mattingly, join us. Chuck, you and him together, 6 a.m., Ty and I moving 9 to 11. Halftime, Ruskin and Zach all stay the same. So looking forward to really the lineup our listeners will get to enjoy, every weekday from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
As a listener, I've missed Bo. And now I'm going to get to listen to him sitting right there beside him. So,
Maybe more than you want.
I have a ringside seat now, but I know people have missed Bo on the air, and with good reason. And so I think people are going to enjoy having him back.
We'll continue to kind of preview and give an example. Again, this is Chuck's last show on the Morning Rush. We've got Clay Henry coming up in a bit. We're going to hear more from Bobby Petrino. We'll get more back to this Carlton Safa stuff as well. Yesterday, got a chance for the first time to take my vehicle into the Meineke Car Care Center at Rath Auto Resources. Luckily, Larry and his team took care of me, got all the things. I actually have another appointment tomorrow because there's some other things I got to fix. The cool thing about, chat with Larry a little bit, and I can do the same with David, more pop culture and kind of what's going on stuff. It's like you don't have to just talk cars. You know how you deal with some people, and the only thing they know how to talk about is business? It drives me up a wall. It gets annoying, to be honest. I have other interests in life outside of sports and sports radio. So me and Larry talked about fishing, and I don't know jack squat about that. Clay Henry, Bruce Stan, and others can tell you that. But that's what you get. I mean, Larry's not only willing to help you out, pick out your new vehicle, pre-owned vehicle, take you through the Meineke Car Care Center, both locations, but you can just chat with him. You have a normal conversation like I did yesterday. So go see him at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, and then go see David at Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale, and you can check out both their websites online. All right, it's a What's Your Beef Wednesday. I've really done it this time, and I've done a lot of stupid stuff in the last 6 years of working here. Moved in this house, right?
Right.
There's a safe that was left over.
Like a gun safe, small safe?
A small safe.
Small safe. Okay.
And so parents gave me my Social Security card. I think they still have my birth certificate. A few other security items that you're supposed to keep locked and tucked away.
Right.
Well, there's a key to this safe, right? And so in my head, the key opens the safe. And so what do? I throw my items in there, lock the safe.
Oh, no.
Try to open it to put my deed of the house in this morning. Turns out you need the key and the combination. So I have locked away my Social Security card, my passport, and some other item that is near and dear to my heart that I need for the future of my well-being in this safe that I have no idea how to open.
Call the previous owner.
Previous owner, unfortunately, is no longer with us. So, that being said,
you're gonna need a different kind of hotline.
I don't know if I melt the safe.
No.
I don't know if I call a locksmith.
There, bingo.
I don't know how to. I just was staring at myself last night.
Guys that'll crack that safe.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. Thank you, Chuck. I need it. I have never listen again. 29 years old, soon to be 30, December 11th. Done a lot of stupid stuff in my life. But the fact that I didn't even look at the instructions to the safe, I just assumed, the key's right here. Lock it. Good to go. Is one of the dumber things I've done on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. The only beef I have is with my own stupidity, my own ignorance. And you know how they say ignorance is bliss in some cases? Not in this case.
So what's your plan?
It's a tough break, man.
I don't. Chuck has a guy apparently. Chuck has a guy for everything. So
I watched some movies on cracking safes. Maybe watch Heist.
I tried to listen to it last night.
Italian Job. There's a few things you can
call
watch.
Wahlberg.
The guys I know are out right now.
Ocean's 11.
Help you.
Call Charlize Theron. See if she could help me out. Maybe Paris Hilton can help me out. So I didn't know if I could throw it off a roof and it would crack to get these items out.
I think I would start with that.
Run over it. These items again are valuable. I can't just not have them for future reference or whatever I need
Is this
them
like
for.
the room safe in like a hotel, or is this?
It's a little more advanced than that.
All right.
But
a little larger.
Little larger, and apparently more high tech than just a key that unlocks it. You need the key and the combination. Would have helped to know that.
I'd like to tell you I'm surprised by this development.
No, you shouldn't be.
But no, quite frankly, I'm not.
I'm not. You shouldn't be.
What's Your Beef Wednesdays brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market, 3042 North Market Avenue in Fayetteville. Find something for the grill tonight at Richard's Country Meat Market. Find them online to see everything available at richardscountrymeatmarket.com. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort, our favorite place to get away and unwind and relax. 80 private cabins and lodges, great restaurant that overlooks the White River, and expert guides to make sure your day on the water is filled with fishing. Now, well, let me back up. Filled with catching, not fishing. Catch a lot of fish when you go to Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
ESPN bracketologist Joe Lenardi here with my favorite number one seed, the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
The nation is going to be talking about Arkansas.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort. We're a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jolco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Area, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So there's elements to Taylen Green's game that he wants to improve upon. He's got the measurables. He's got the leadership. But what could he help himself with heading into the season? Bobby Petrino pointed out a couple things yesterday. I know a lot of Arkansas fans maybe look at the completion percentage and, hey, that's not necessarily what needs it to be in the SEC. Well, Petrino says there's other elements to that.
Yeah, there's so many things that go into completion percentage. You can't just judge a quarterback on that because it starts, all 11 guys being on the same page between your pass protection with your offensive line, between your pass protection and routes with your running backs and tight ends, and then the precision of your receivers with routes. So anytime I recruit somebody, I really don't look at the completion percentage. I'm looking at how they throw the ball, how they compete, what their decision making is, as opposed to staying away from percentages.
It sounds like listening to him expand on that, guys, that there's been some things that Bobby Petrino has changed mechanically a little bit with Taylen's game, but that's an area that he knows he needs to improve on, and he kind of touched on that in the post game as well. I think what's curious about this from him and Malachi is, and I don't know if infatuated is the right word, but they almost get like a smile and like a glow every time they talk about their offensive coordinator to a certain extent.
Well, I think they're excited about the possibilities for this year. I think they're excited to be coached by a guy that has a track record of coaching great quarterbacks. And, no one should ever question Bobby Petrino's football acumen and his ability to dial it up, so to speak. But there's so much more to it than that. Mm-hmm. And he kind of talked about it, and you kind of touched on it there. There's all kinds of mechanics, and I would expect Taylen Green's percentage to be good enough. I don't know. I would expect it. My hunch would be it'll be better than it was last year. But I think it'll be good enough to win games.
Yeah, I just find it. We get focused in. You heard the response to a question about completion percentage, and I just find it always fascinating what a coach pays attention to, what the trained eye pays attention to, and he's like, so many things that go into completion percentage. The wide receiver. He mentioned yesterday all 11 have to be on the same page, whereas pretty much his exact words. So I just find it interesting. We'll have too many conversations about completion percentage throughout this season involving not just Taylen Green, but other quarterbacks around the country.
Citing why one should be over the other. Yeah.
Right. Citing why this one should win the Heisman, this one should, and this one should be all SEC, this one shouldn't, based on that. And here, one of the guys we listen to and trust his every word when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks says, don't pay much attention to that. I think we should remember that and stick that back in the file somewhere.
Well, you've also got to consider, too, Bo brought this up earlier, and we don't consider it enough. You're playing good teams.
Yeah.
It's not like you're playing chopped liver out there. Most guys can't complete 60% of their passes against an SEC defense. You're asking a guy to do something almost Herculean right there. Now, you have to have that. You've got to have a good percentage if you're going to move the ball and score points. But these guys are skilled, and sometimes 1 or 2 percentage points in terms of your completion percentage, that doesn't tell the story.
One of the things that we touched on with Clay last week, who will join us coming up in the 8 o'clock hours, maybe what this offense will look like this year, because didn't necessarily wasn't Bobby Petrino's 100% offense in College Station. And I thought one of the intriguing sound bites from yesterday's press conference, in addition to what he said about Taylor Green and Malachi Singleton, was what this offense's identity is going to be this fall. They're trying to find it right now.
Really trying to find our identity. I think that's the key right now, is to find our identity. I've always believed you take this big old playbook, and then, as you progress and progress, it goes down and down and down. And okay, this is who we are. That doesn't mean we're not going to keep working on the other parts of it, because you're going to need that at some point during the year. We still got a few weeks to go to really figure out who we really are.
I think most of our listeners and most fans, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, just assume that you're going to see a similar offense to what you saw 10 plus years ago in Fayetteville in 2009 to 2011 with Ryan, the late Ryan Mallett, and Tyler. Talon has the stature of what Ryan had, but he's got other elements to his game that Ryan didn't have at his disposal. So I'm going to be honest. Like, again, I watched A&M last year, not just when Arkansas played, but I really don't know what to expect from this year's offense. I expect them to be better, but not necessarily the methodology or the way they go about scoring points. That's going to be just a fascinating thing, how Coach Petrino moves pieces around and just tries to go about it on a weekly basis.
Well, it's an 11-man squad on that side of the ball, and he talked about it just a little bit earlier. And it's not just about the quarterback. Now, that's what we watch. But, Petrino likes, when they threw, he liked to throw off play action. He liked to do he liked to do a variety of things. Now, Taylor Green's not the same style of quarterback as the quarterbacks that he had when he was here. He's going to run a little bit more. Now, he's a thrower, he's a passer, but he's going to have the ability to run the ball, make plays with his legs. So, I think they'll move the football. I don't have any doubt about that, really.
You mentioned Taylor there. It was funny to hear him talk yesterday about, hey, what gets you going? You're new on campus. You're a guy that is going to be the starting quarterback this fall. What kind of gets you in rhythm as we're 15 days out?
If I juke somebody out, that gets me going. I'm like, oh, they don't know me. I like my teammates like saying something. So that normally gets me going.
So what gets you going? Are you guys ready at 6 a.m.? Chuck, I know you join us at 6:30. This is the final show with us in the Morning Rush. But what's going to get you going for that first show at 6 a.m. August the 26th? What's going to – the coffee? Is it something else?
See, my situation now, I've not always been this way, but I get up early now. I like getting up out of bed and getting on the air. And it's not a situation of like, I want to get it out of the way. It's not that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the morning is when my mind works. I'm more alert at 6 a.m. than I am at 3 in the afternoon. You're going to get more out of me at 6 in the morning than you will at 3 in the afternoon. I can promise you that. And so that's why we're doing it in the morning.
What about you? What gets you going, like Talon, juking someone out for him? What gets you going? Get your piss hot, like John L. Smith used to say.
A perfectly hit driver right down the middle of the fairway on the first.
How did I know you were going to send this to golf?
An 8-pound brown hooking onto your line, and you get it to the net and in the boat. Those are the things that
gets you going.
Right. A perfectly presented sales proposal, a well executed segment on the show.
That's
those are the things that I value. Creating radio. Here's what always creating radio that people get to their destination. They sit in the car till you're done saying what you have to say because it's that good. That's what gets me going. Those are the things that get me fired up.
All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Tell you what else gets me fired up. That's good barbecue and some smoked wings. You can find those at Sassy's Barbecue, 2 locations in Fayetteville. The original Red House on North College. Sassy's Barbecue and Grill just off the Weddington exit on Steamboat Drive. Try the honey sriracha. They got a variety of wing flavors. But the Morning Rush 100% endorses honey sriracha. That's our favorite. But you're not going to go wrong with any of them. Stop in for lunch. They got a variety of sides to go along with that. I think 6 wings and some of their seasoned waffle fries makes about as good a lunch as you're going to have. That's Sassy's original Red House on North College. Sassy's Barbecue and Grill just off the Weddington exit in Fayetteville. And Sassy'sBarbecue.com. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
All right, we're going to talk to the Hall of Famer Clay Henry, who joins us on the other side.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
This is the Morning Rush.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag. Just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag. Loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly cloudy skies with a chance of a shower or thunderstorm early across the north. Our high temperatures today, low to mid 90s. Mainly clear to partly cloudy sky tonight and overnight low to mid 70s. And a slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm Thursday, a high in the mid to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 15 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
So my understanding is that we need an immediate infusion on an ongoing basis of at least $600,000 a month for Razorback football. So what Saracen has proposed is an NIL drawing mechanism that would allow people anywhere in the state of Arkansas to buy a ticket, and we would do weekly drawings where we would make no money, not a dime. We will just provide the technology. Half the money goes to NIL, and half the money goes to the winner. What we need is a rule change at the Racing Commission level. We'll be ready to roll. Somebody's trying to stop it.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
It's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush. What's your beef Wednesday? Carlton Safa has a beef right now, the chief marketing officer of Bet Saracen, with the fact that 50-50 right now can't happen for the University of Arkansas, the NIL program, and possibly getting that money back to Arkansas athletes. We're going to expand more on that coming up in just a bit. Clay Henry's with us now along with Chuck, so we're going to have some fun talking about that and talking about some Arkansas football with Bobby Petrino. Plus, Clay has had an experience, like myself, to a certain extent, with a certain doorway that was not able to be open for a while. But
I bet his passport wasn't behind it, though.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richards Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. I know that's one of Clay's favorites, whether it's a big fat filet or a 2-inch thick bone-in ribeye, or you just need the perfectly seasoned, perfectly flavored gourmet burger to put over some hot charcoal tonight. Richards has got you hooked up. They've also got fresh kebabs and great sides. Try the potato salad. It is unbelievable at Richards Country Meat Market. 3042 North Market Avenue in Fayetteville, just off College, and online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
So for those that missed it earlier, I had a safe that I received when I took over my new house. Thought the safe just needed a key to unlock it. Turns out you need the key in the combination. Clay, you bought a house years ago where you live now, and there was apparently a door there back in the day that you didn't know how to get into, but luckily you found a way through.
It took a little while, but it was this was a weekend place for the owners who lived in Columbia, Missouri, fire chief. And they had friends that would stay here, and they had one closet under a stairwell that had a locked door because they could put, things they didn't want their friends to mess with. And I don't really know what it was because it was empty when we finally, got the key open. But they had put the key on the facing of the door, and the only way you could see that is if you climbed up. And I think Jean Ann changed the light bulb, and she goes, the key. And, but it was kind of weird, when you can't get into something, you're like, what's back there? Are there skeletons in that closet? There was nothing, but maybe a few spider webs. But it was frustrating. I can't imagine the angst that you felt. I mean, really, Ty, you were a dumbass. But I mean,
there it is. There it is. Thank you.
Pretty much what your father was texting
earlier.
me too.
I kept thinking, I can't wait to get at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Chuck, you're gonna miss this. You're gonna miss it. I mean, when he says stuff like A-Rad or ass down, you're gonna miss it.
I don't know if Bo's gonna lock his safe without a key and a combination. I don't know.
I don't think he will. I'm going to guess about that.
Conceivably, theoretically, it could happen, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, again, if you're just jumping in with us, maybe haven't heard the news in the last 24 hours. We shared it this time yesterday. New show lineup starting August the 26th. The Chuck and Bo Show. Chuck and Bo Mattingly doing that from 6 to 9 a.m. The Morning Rush moves from 9 to 11. Clay, you've done radio with both those guys for, I think, basically 2+ decades. How excited are you?
25 painful years.
25 painful years. How excited are you for the new venture that these guys are getting into?
Yeah, it's going to be good. And I wrote a column, and I think Tommy's read it.
Yep, it's really good.
Finished it up last night, slept on it, read it again this morning, and sent it. And, I mean, Eddie Hodges will put it up shortly. I think he's an evening guy. I should have sent it to him last night. But the gist of it is, like, just imagine if Johnny Carson and David Letterman co-hosted. Just imagine. I mean, that's what these guys have been to us in sports talk radio. I mean, nothing against anybody else, but these guys are, man, they've been at the mountaintop, both of them. And, I mean, we listened to them, and I mean, it was a must. I would be in there 2 days a week, and I would just like pinch myself. I mean, I have to be honest. When I started with Chuck, early days of Hogs Illustrated, and nobody knew what Hogs Illustrated was. I mean, our advertising guy, I mean, we had blank pages. I had to fill it all with editorial content because there were no ads. I mean, there might be 2 ads in 48 pages. And all at once he started bringing in ads. And I said, what's going on? And he goes, man, everywhere I go, they listen to you and Chuck on the radio. So, man, I owe an awful lot to Chuck and to Bo.
Chuck, you ever catch that check?
Yeah. Ty, if you didn't know, Johnny Carson was a late-night talk show host back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
It felt like that needed to be pointed out.
He was like Ron Burgundy. He was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, he was kind of a big deal back in the day.
He had Coach Holtz on one time. I've watched that full interview, but I'm not as familiar with everything, but did know at least his name.
Or as you would say, Ted McMahon is his co-host there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy.
But, based on that story you just told, Clay, it sounds like checks in the mail for you, Chuck, on that deal to help get Hogs Illustrated off the ground.
I didn't realize all that. No, hey, man, I've been so lucky to get to work with great people over the years.
Yeah. We're looking forward to it.
You notice I just stopped right there. I didn't say anything beyond that.
I won't tell you.
No soliloquy.
I sit down with Bo the first time. I mean, this is right after Chuck's kind of sails off to do play-by-play, and he I go in there and it's just there's this awful seat. He's got this unbelievable his studio. He has his own studio. Unbelievable seat that Sawyer and Bart and Bo, and there's just this little bitty tiny stool that, I mean, it just hurts your butt to sit on it. And I start laughing, and he says, Chuck told me to give you a really uncomfortable spot to sit.
Got to get him up on the edge of his seat. Man.
Yeah.
Got to be ready. You don't need a comfortable chair. If you have a comfortable chair, you relax.
Yeah,
you got to be up there and be ready.
Thank you, Chuck.
You're welcome.
News to me. What did Clay say the other day? He said, "Man, I got 10+ years with Chuck, 10+ years with Bo, and then I had to work with you talking about me." So that makes sense. Clay, you did mention your column earlier. One of the things you cited in it was what I wanted to bring up, the vocalizing goals aspect. For those that haven't listened to Bobby Petrino's press conference just yet, it's about 20 or so minutes. And in a period, I think it was at the tail end, if I remember correctly, he gets asked about, hey, at one point in your coaching career, you asked your quarterbacks and your offense to a certain extent to vocalize goals. Here's what he had to say about that.
My dad used to tell me that all the time. He said, if you're going to have a goal, then you have to be courageous enough to announce it so you can go out and get it. If you want to keep your goal to yourself, your chances of going and getting it aren't really good. And, we used to do that as a team and as an offense. So, yeah, we're not quite there yet, but we just started with our quarterbacks on working on that yesterday, or 2 days ago. So we're going to get there.
Clay, I know in your...
Yeah, I think that what he's talking about, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I think it's about ownership. And I think when you verbalize something, it's ownership, and it's just like your day-to-day life. Raising a family or being in a family. One of the things that my dad always told me, and he says, keep your promises. When you say something, do it. When you tell your daughters you're going to be somewhere, always be there. And that's what goals are. When you say that, you have to own it. And you want to be there, and you want to hold up your part of it. And your teammates look around. It's like, man, he said he wanted to do this. Man, he ain't doing jack squat. And you will tell your teammate, hey, you say you want to do this. You're not working in practice to do that. And I think that's what Bobby was talking about. That you have to verbalize them, and when you do, it changes the way you work towards goals. And I can remember sitting down with Sam Pittman when he first became a coach, and I said, "What are your spring goals?" And he said, "Well, we've got them, and we've gone through them with the team, but I don't want the media to be grading us day by day whether we're hitting our goals, because it's going to take a while to do that." But I think all coaches are really, if they're worth their salt, they're going to make their players verbalize their goals.
Yeah, and the player aspect, they kind of talked about it a little bit. Like you said, they didn't necessarily go into what those particular goals are, which how you just explained makes sense. But here's, I think Taylor and I think Malachi touches on it too.
We actually wrote them down.
We had to turn them in yesterday.
So we had to do goals, 3 goals for the week. Then we had to do our obstacles and what the obstacle is. Then we had to do what's our solution and what we're going to do. So probably at the end of the week, we're going to see if we got it.
What do you think about that? You like it? You think it's something, you wrote it down on a piece of paper, so it's something you can always reference.
Yeah, I personally like it because he knows what we want to work on, what we see, and, of course, what he thinks we have to work on. So, it's a both player to coach, relationship, and, he's going to hold us accountable. And shout out to Miles. He's definitely going to hold us accountable too.
I think this kind of goes back to your New Year's resolutions. That's what I thought of when I heard them talk about this. Is
I think they're a higher level commitment than a New Year's resolution.
Yes,
though.
but one of the things I think it was my dad or another mentor in my life said, similar to what Coach Petrino says, write these down at the beginning of the year. Write down what you would want to accomplish at the beginning of the year, because if you don't have them written or you don't tell someone, then there's a lot less likelihood that you'll follow through on those.
I think it's kind of like knowing the combination of the safe.
Exactly.
If you don't know the combination of the safe, you don't know your goals, you're kind of screwed.
No. And then you got to revisit them. It's one thing to write them down, but if you put them in a file drawer and never look at them again, then you got to revisit them on a regular basis.
Ty, if you're writing down goals today, goals for today, get into that safe. That's right there at the top of the list.
Can it be a weekly goal, Chuck? Do I have to accomplish it by the end of the day?
Well, it sounds like you need to put it on your daily goal list until you find a way to get it open.
I will say, and Tommy's right next to me. He can see this. What does that say on the buy to fix out? Where's that goal located? I think it's number 2.
Number 1, find a girlfriend.
Yeah,
Number
that's
2,
up there too. There we go.
Find a girlfriend. Number 3, it's right there near the top.
Near the top, at least.
Open safe and buy safe.
And
Yeah,
buy
I think
safe.
One of Ty's goals will be attend 30 weddings this year.
I think I have 8 that I'll be attending by the end of the year.
How
but
many have you gone to?
40 in the last 5 years.
I knew it was 40. I
No.
told you, Chuck. Didn't I tell you,
You
it was
did
40?
tell me, yes, you did.
40.
That
And I had
sounds
not.
painful.
That was a guess, but
That's an average of 8 a year, I guess.
80
Yeah.
year.
I
If
bet.
my math is correct.
I bet we haven't been to 40 combined between the 3 of us. And
it's like,
Well, let's just
okay,
be honest.
Number of haircuts, 3. Weddings, 40.
yeah,
It's up there.
You would not need more than 2 hands to count the number I've been to.
yeah,
I think I told you I've maybe been to 4 in my life. Count
Yeah.
my own.
less than 10 for me.
Different age groups, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Bigger weddings.
No, it's the when you have
Different
any-
priorities.
You have any intelligence at all, you do not go to weddings.
The bro thing wasn't big back then. We didn't have to get in. We didn't have to get in the hot tub with our friends
Yeah.
to feel like we were pals back then.
Chuck, aren't you going to miss this?
God.
Clay, let's come back to Arkansas before I just continue to get tethered on this radio program.
One last time.
Wait till we dump the hot tar on you.
Yeah, I guess that Chuck's got to get them all out, considering this is last morning rush, and
15 minutes.
Well, he'll have 3 hours. He'll have 3 hours.
I'm
to say what
encouraging
more.
it.
he did say, well, there's going to be plenty of entertainment that Ruskin and Zach can use. I would guess he maybe used the mechanism that they've used the last 5 years and mess with me a little bit. That's okay. I think if you look over the course of Razorback football history, and Clay, you know the history a lot better than I do, but like every good team has been able to run the football. And another thing you kind of said in your column is the fact that you like kind of where the offensive line is in run blocking, not just pass blocking a little bit. You called it the body and spirit, and that kind of stood out to me a little bit. I know you haven't gotten to watch as many practice as you want because of you're feeling a little under the weather, but
Man, I had COVID. You
yeah.
bet. Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm going Friday,
Mhm.
and one of the things I want to see, and I Thursday's a scrimmage, so Friday will be in all the practices. It will be insignificant, except a lot of times after a scrimmage, you can see personnel moves. You know, guys moving up, and a lot of times it's not the starters, but it's like some of the newcomers that they will have seen them. 2 guys that came in the summer, new portal guys. You'll see them move up to second team or, get in the rotation. And the other thing I want to watch is the kickers. You can kind of see how that's shaken out. And we don't talk a lot about special teams, but this is the next 2 weeks is when they really lock down, kickers, special teams, cover guys, because they know you got to be on the travel roster to be on special teams. So that means you're going to be in, the top 60, and that kind of, shapes up. But I really, I want to see how this offensive line is meshing, how they're on the edge, because that is what sunk this team last year. So I want to see Blackstock and Carmona and see what they're able to do, at the 2 offensive tackle. And, who do you think is these backups? What about Joe Moore? What about Marion Harris? What about Tykeus Crawford? This next group, because I don't think you make it through, 8 SEC games with the same guys. You just don't. And they had a huge fall off in the second team last year. When they start having injuries, man, it fell apart quick. So that'll be the things that I'm going to watch Friday that I think are important.
17 after the hour here on the Morning Rush. Chuck, I know one of the things people are paying, we've been talking about money this morning a lot with that 50-50. People are paying attention to the election, to the market, and the way it's dropped off lately. You've got a great podcast you want to tell everybody about to kind of get them in tune with what's going on in the market right now.
Market Moment podcast, follow it every week, and they're talking, as you might imagine, about the market this week. A lot of people talk about the Fed when they talk about the market. Interest rates, will we see a cut this year? Well, this week, Matt, Lee, and John talk about what's working and what's not in the market right now. And that's all on this week's edition of the Market Moment podcast. And you can check out the latest episode by logging on to market-moment.com. You can tune in to get your financial questions answered. And I'll remind you that Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers. And for full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
And we're all looking forward to August 26th and the new lineup and the Chuck and Bo show. But, Chuck, you and I had talked for years about, after you had left daily radio and was focused on play-by-play for the football and basketball teams and eventually stepped away from baseball. We had many conversations about what if, and I'm just glad 2 years ago we were finally able, after years of conversation, to make this happen, and I'm glad we're able to evolve and get you on the air more than 3 days a week here in Morning Drive. So it's been a great run the last 2 years, but I'm glad you're still on the team, and we're all just looking forward to what's ahead.
Well, I'm grateful to you guys and grateful for the chance to get my feet back into this, and really looking forward to working with Bo. Just really looking forward to working with Bo. And so on the 26th, we'll crank it up at 6 o'clock in the morning while you guys are asleep.
Well, we'll be up and listening, but because I'm excited to hear what's ahead. And I think you're right about one thing. A lot of people have missed the bells and the whistles and the interviews and the conversations from Bo's show that followed your daily show. So, I think it's going to be the best of both worlds when it all comes together.
Well, we're not reinventing the wheel, but we are going to, I hope, do a show that's entertaining and informative and reliable, and we want it to be the show of record. And so we'll get after it on the 26th. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. We'll have the show for you right here on the station you're listening to now, on all the ESPN Arkansas stations, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app.
Are you guys, Chuck, going to be able to get Tiger Bay out of retirement? Now, I don't know if he's in jail right now, but I know that's a question I've had.
He's in parts unknown. I'm not really sure on that. My understanding is Bo's people and his people are trying to set up a meeting somewhere.
There we go.
The real question is, are we going to get Fuzzy out of retirement? That's the real question.
We just might have all the OGs back in.
Hey, I talked to Fuzzy 2 weeks ago. I talked to him.
Y'all are going to have to give me the backstory. Is that just an old sports rap call?
It goes back to the sports rap.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a motorcycle guy from Marshall, Texas. Raised fancy long-haired goats. I've been to his farm in Marshall, and we
had a cast of characters.
Yeah,
he was a dude. Let's just put it that way.
All right, we got one more segment with Chuck coming up, and Clay will be with us the rest of the hour here. We're brought to you by Art's Barbecue, Burgers, and more. Hey, every Friday is Catfish Friday. That's the special on Fridays. You don't want to miss it. Big plate of catfish. There's sides that go along with it. It's just $10.99. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Arts as well. So if you love their big hand-patted burgers, get one with bacon on it. They give you $1 off every Saturday as well. Great place to kind of get your weekend really cranked up right. Arts Barbecue, Burgers, and more. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's, or call ahead and have it ready, 452-2550. That's Arts Barbecue, Burgers, and more in Fort Smith.
Former Cy Young winner is pitching in Northwest Arkansas tomorrow night. We'll tell you who that is next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former Razorback Trey Wade, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter and Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad website's starting to go viral.
Hey, what is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baumwalker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them face web gram thing.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hudson Clark with his 5th career interception.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open fast.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit #2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab,
That is a good point. But yeah, Chuck, what do you remember about that show? And you watched the reboot?
No, and I didn't watch it then, and I won't watch the reboot now because I'm not their target demo. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I remember the phenomenon very well. That's kind of my old stomping grounds, if you want to know the truth.
Clay, I don't know if you've seen that news about the Simple Life reboot, the 20-plus-year-old show that began season 1 in kind of the Clarksville, Altus, Ozark area. Are you familiar with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie at all in that, I guess, the new show?
I have some really, really close friends from Ozark, and
Clay was right in the middle of it.
Yeah, and I go back to Charlie Bonner, who worked at the convenience store on the edge of town out by the Lock and Dam. And, that's the only place in Ozark that was like open after 10 o'clock. I mean, that's where you'd go get chicken nuggets. I don't know if they served alcohol there. Maybe they did. But I get this call one night, and he says, "Hey, I got Nicole and Paris down here. You want to come down and meet them?" I couldn't do it. I mean, that was
they wanted to meet Clay.
Yeah,
that was the story.
Charlie Bonner wanted to prove that he could be around those
there was
kind
a lot
of
of that
celebrities.
going on. I swear to God, they're here.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. And so I said, "Well, hey, get me you got a hog hat in that store?" He goes, "Yeah, we got it up here on
that's
top
the
of the
picture.
shelf." And he said, "I want a picture of Paris Hilton in a hog hat." Well, we ran that picture in Hogs Illustrated.
There you go.
It was one of the coolest things we ever did.
That is one of the. To be clear, that's one of the sexiest pictures I've ever seen. Is her in a hog
As long
hat.
as we're clear.
As long as we're out in the open.
As long as we're being clear.
Yeah.
In fact, he may still have that edition.
It's up on my wall, Clay. That Hogs Illustrated issue.
I said, now, the next picture I want in the next issue, I could just see this continuing on as they'd keep taping this show. I need a picture of, one of those girls kissing you. He goes, "I don't think that's going to happen." Charlie's passed away, but he was a cool dude, and about 350 pounds, and he was the life of Ozark. I guarantee you, as I'm talking, there's somebody down there saying that was our man, Charlie Bonner.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. People be on the lookout for them. Hey, get by Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. If you need a golf cart to enjoy on the course, or you need one for your neighborhood, they're friendly, they're small business minded, and they are going to go above and beyond to exceed your expectations. They can fully customize an American-made easy-go cart with custom wheels, tires, seats, lights, audio, electronics. I mean, you name it. Your imagination's the only limit to what you can have on your custom cart. They've got gas models and they've got battery versions, including the 8-year warranted lithium batteries, which is absolutely the way to go. Arkansas Golf and Power Sports, Fayetteville and in Little Rock, just off the Garland exit in Fayetteville off I-49. Head the opposite way of Sam's and Fayetteville Auto Park. You'll find them on North McConnell. And you can look online at arpowersports.com.
I know a lot of Arkansas fans always enjoy to see former Razorbacks participate with the Travelers or the Naturals on their way up to the majors. This is not an Arkansas-related guy, but guys, Justin Verlander is, on the Corpus Christi Hooks, and they're playing the Naturals tomorrow night. And I guess he's rehabbing, and he's suited to start. So this is a 3-time Cy Young winner, 2011 AL MVP. Yeah. So this, again, not that there haven't been great players that have played in either the Naturals or Travelers organization or some of the teams they faced off against, but this is our own backyard. This is, 10 minutes from campus in Arvis Ballpark.
It kind of reminds me, this has been a long time ago, but Fernando Valenzuela did a rehab stint in Little Rock, and it coincided with like Pony Night or something. I mean, and they put people in the outfield. They had 4 rows in center field.
I remember that.
I mean, it was the damnedest thing you've ever seen.
They sat him on the warning track.
Yep. I mean, it's just like, it was ground rule double if ball went into the the people in center field. But hopefully they don't need to do that Thursday night. But I mean, what do you think? He'll go 2 innings, Chuck? How's that work?
Probably 1 or 2 innings.
Yeah.
1 or 2 innings. You better get there on time.
Yeah.
If you want to watch him.
I mean, this is
don't be casually late.
The Naturals are the ones that I think Ruskin Zach posted yesterday, and I never know what they say is true or not. So I went to the Naturals page, and they posted about it.
Wow.
So I mean, they're promoting it.
So it's
And
real.
Yeah, it's real. It's not
real. It's actually happening.
Yeah.
It's not just a figment of Ruskin and Zach's imagination.
And I'm glad to know you're the keeper of the truth.
No, I'm not. Listen.
He's a fact check.
He's a fact checker.
I'm in that same camp. You can lump me with Derek Ruskin, Zach Arntz, where sometimes you listen to me and you're like, "What the hell is he talking about?" But I just wanted to vary.
What do you mean sometimes?
Yeah, more often than not. That's probably a better way to say it.
Confuse you and E.F. Hutton.
But
Let's just put it that way.
that's a fair way to look at. Now, again, I'm going to be in Northwest Arkansas tomorrow at the home of fantasy football, which is Tawny Town. So we're going to hop, skip, and make it over there. I mean,
the Grape Festival.
Yeah, and that was last weekend. I still hadn't been 120 some odd years, but I think we're going to go to this thing. I didn't know about it.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, if there was ever something that would draw you out to a Naturals game if you're not a regular attendee, if this won't do it, I don't know what else will.
Thursday is what, dollar beer night too? Double?
Think Zach can get you tickets? He's got connections.
Oh, yeah.
You think he can get you in?
Oh, yeah.
Voice of the Naturals. So,
or do you just walk in and say, "Man, I'm Ty"?
I'll wear an old
He
press.
doesn't even have to say it.
I'll wear an old press pass, and they'll just
They'll see
assume
him
that.
coming. So, hey,
Press pass guy.
Just tell them when you get there, man, I got a safe. They'll let you ride.
Yeah.
Anybody
Chuck?
that owns a safe.
been fun. Can't wait to listen on Monday, and we'll be staying in touch.
Gentlemen, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I mean that.
All right. Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, and he'll be with us weekday morning 6 to 9 with the Chuck and Bo show, and it's been a lot of fun the last 2 years. We're not going away. We're going to be here 9 to 11, and Clay's going to be back for another segment with us as well on a What's Your Beef Wednesday brought to you by Richards Country Meat Market, 1 block east of College and Rolling Hills Drive at 3042 North Market Avenue, online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
SEC update when Clay as we close out a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Hey, this is Montague Brown, the former Razorback, and you listen to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Vegas, baby! Vegas, baby!
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
It's summer clearance sale time at Julco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Julco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
All right, we welcome you back. Final segment of the Morning Rush. Our buddy Clay Henry still with us. Clay, we got some SEC things to discuss. Texas, and again, I don't want to make light of a season-ending injury. Just need to point this out. Texas has now, according to reports, lost another running back, Christian Clark, who's torn his Achilles, according to reports. They already lost their returning rusher, C.J. Baxter. They only have, from last season's team, 2 of their top 10 rushers return. And they lost talented wide receivers like Worthy, who's playing in Kansas City, some defensive linemen that were studs as well. Not just the losses, Clay, that they seem to be suffering from the last NFL draft. I think it was 12 or 13 draft picks, but they're losing some guys that were supposed to be pretty pivotal to their season success. I know Steve Sarkisian is probably a little nervous right now about where his offense is depth-wise.
Yeah, it'll test them a little bit. I think that they've really stockpiled a lot of talent down there, and they're a little bit like Alabama was a few years ago, and the way Georgia is. Mm-hmm. They can withstand this. This is one of the things I keep watching at Arkansas. Where are they in the injury, and it's key players. Like there's guys that they can't lose, that it'll be a blow. Like their seconds aren't on the same level, and if they lose somebody like Landon Jackson or Jalen Braxton, and anybody that loses their starting quarterback, there's a drop. to the number 2. And, Arkansas was not able to withstand losing Rocket Sanders. Now, I think the depth at running back is going to be a strength of this team. But you can't lose when you get hits at the same position. That's when your team takes a drop. Like they lose their 1 running back, their 2 running back, and they lost one, their best one from last year, all at once. That affects your team. Now, what Texas does is they throw and catch. That's Sarkisian's game. And they still got Ewers, and they still got some really, really talented, fast wide receivers. So I don't think they're at the danger level. But when you lose a couple of guys at the same position in camp, then you get into the season and you start getting nicked up at that position. All at once, it's like, hey, we don't have to honor the run. They cannot run it. They're going to be average. I remember that was kind of the death of Mike Shula at Alabama. They had a season, they'd have a running back. Great offensive line, wide receivers, but they could not run the ball. I mean, it was like 1 yard, 2 yard, 1 yard. I mean, just average running backs.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
Which, when you think of Alabama, you think of Sean Alexander, Shad Smith, Derrick Henry. I mean, the list.
But they had nothing that 1 year. And, of course, I mean, they fired him. But it's all at once is like you just have to play pass. We don't have to. When you get one-dimensional, the game changes. Or you're weak at, say, a tackle position on offense, and a team can exploit that. Man, the talent in the SEC defensively and the defensive coordinators, I mean, it gets ugly fast when so I'm going to give you an example of injuries and how they can wreck your team. Arkansas, and I can't remember if this was during the nut time. I think it was. They were really light at linebacker, had some injuries, and they were going with a guy named Wendell Davis. And they're at Mississippi State, and he got hurt, and the guy they put in was not competent to play, inside linebacker in the SEC. Mississippi State lined up in the fourth quarter, and they ran every play at that spot. They just went down the field in 4, 6, 7 yard deal. Same thing happened. Arkansas is at Missouri. Grant Morgan, Arkansas was winning the game. KJ played really well. I mean, I think that was Felipe Frank's injury game. KJ played really well.
2020, yep.
And they had the lead, and Grant Morgan went down, and they put in a linebacker that wasn't ready for that stage, and Drinkwitz ran every play at that linebacker spot. I think maybe they ran up like 350 yards in the fourth quarter. It was something incredible. But when you get a void at a position, and all at once you play, say, a lightly used walk-on that doesn't understand, they'll twist him every way but loose.
And that's what good coaches do. They find your weak point, and they continue to exploit it over and over, kind of like some of the examples you pointed out. All right, continuing on our SEC update, former Tennessee linebacker Gerard Mayo, who now heads up the New England Patriots, is doing a new thing in preseason. Clay, starters that get in fights are now playing the full preseason game, and backups that get in fights are not playing that next game. I thought that was kind of an interesting way to go about punishing players. The guys that are trying to make the team and trying to get more playing time, they don't get to play, and then the ones that know they're going to start the upcoming season, they got to play the whole preseason game.
Yeah, he's playing with fire in that kind of a thing. They're going to be fights, and the way I always did it is like, man, we're just going to line them up and run them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think coaches like fights unless they see somebody pull off a helmet and start swinging it, something like that. But I remember sitting with Jimmy Johnson. This is about 1979 in the stands at Lewis Field, and Oklahoma State's team. The offensive line, defensive line got in a fight, and I'm sitting there, and he puts his whistle in his mouth, and he just sat there, and they went for about 20 seconds, and he blew his whistle, and he's going down the steps, and he looks back to me and he goes, I kind of wanted to see who was going to win. And then he lined them up and they ran 100-yard sprints for a little bit. But I mean, he didn't stop them. It's like that he wanted to see, like, all right, who are the guys that you're going to take to war with? With battle. Yeah. And the quarterback stepped away. They weren't in the fight.
No.
He said that's intelligence.
Last thing, speaking of quarterbacks, Clay, I don't know if you've seen the new partnership with former Kentucky quarterback and now Titans quarterback Will Levis and Hellman's Mayonnaise. They're making a limited time mayonnaise cologne combination. This kid loves mayonnaise for some reason. I think puts like bananas in it. Just a weird duck. And apparently the mayonnaise cologne scent is something that he's sporting and advertising now, which I would not wear.
I don't know what that scent is, but I don't think that's what I need for Jean Ann. I don't think that's going to draw her closer to me, so I won't go there.
You're staying away from it.
My dad made banana and mayonnaise sandwiches. He did. I mean, he'd cut up the bananas, in the little disc, lay them there, and then on the other side of the other bread, covered in mayonnaise, smashed it, wrapped it in foil. That's what he took for lunch.
Excuse me.
He never had to worry about me stealing his lunch.
My dad loves mayonnaise and loves bananas, and I'm honestly surprised that I've not heard him try that. He listens from time to time. Wouldn't be surprised if he listened right now, and now he might have a new combination from your late dad. That'd be. I'm going to come home and I'm going to watch him make a mayo and banana sandwich.
Doesn't do anything for me.
No, it does not. All right, that's your SEC update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Hickey and Hull Law Partners. Kevin Hickey, the chef, the big dog, play basketball at Brad Hull. Not only are they great in those two categories, they're great with anything law. They've got their firm that's open not just in the River Valley, not just in Northwest Arkansas, but Mena in Central Arkansas too. They've been providing services for a while now all over the place in Arkansas. And again, it's now in Central Arkansas and in Mena. So if you're in a divorce, a tough custody case, if you just need someone you can trust in this process, they got over 7 decades of combined experience, and they're going to work for you. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call, 479-434-2414. That's 434-2414. Hickey and Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better. Clay, I know we've talked new show lineup with you. We've talked your column that's currently up on hitthatline.com, which we infused with a couple Bobby Petrino quotes that he had yesterday. Have you got a chance, and I know you've been busy, but have you gotten a chance to see and kind of listen to what's going on with Bet Saracen? We had Carlton South on yesterday.
Yeah, it's really interesting because Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports, has got a great column where they dissect it, and they've talked to people in the governor's office, talked to people at the Gaming Commission, and there's some backstories to this, and the Oaklawn people are really good at pointing this out. Is the raffle, the change in the statutes that they want at the Gaming Commission, the one that the people at Bet Saracens want, has got a little area of online gaming that will allow you to play slots on your app.
Okay.
And that's what Oaklawn doesn't want, and that's the opposition for this. Sometimes he's like, well, why not the raffle? Well, they want something else too. So I'll be watching to see if they kind of pare that down and they come to an agreement. But it's, man, those are two big players, Saracen and Oaklawn, and it looks like Oaklawn is kind of holding the upper hand, and they're the old timers. They have a lot of stroke, and Charles Sell has done a nice job at Oaklawn, staying within the rules and negotiating how to get things done in Little Rock. So we'll watch that, but it's highly entertaining. By the way, how many more hours sleep are you going to get? How later? You're getting up now. What, at 4?
I'll get up at 5. So my alarm has gone off at 3:30 for as long as
an hour and a half.
Yeah. So I'm going to be honest. This is not bluster. This is not just me saying this. This is because I've worked with both individuals and I know what kind of quality job they're going to do. I'm going to be up, ready to listen every morning, starting August 26th at 6 a.m. I will be in studio. I kind of said this yesterday, Clay. It's kind of like when you're sitting next to two of the smartest people you know in class for 3 hours, and then you take your test. That's basically the equivalent I get with Bo and Chuck.
Well, you should be able to piggyback off of them.
Oh, no
and
question.
Take, their clips, and then it will marinate a little bit, and then you'll get callers and texters that'll play off of that. I mean, it's like, oh wow. The other part is they're entertaining, and I mean, I know what kind of show they're going to do.
Yeah.
And hey, I wrote a column about all of that. It's not up yet, so there's another column. I'm sure when Andy Hodges gets rolling here in the next 30 minutes, that'll pop up too. So that should be fun. It hit that line. I kind of talked about some of my memories of working with those guys and kind of what I think Eddie from Clarksville is thinking right now.
Yeah, there's plenty of great memories on both Sports Wrap and Sports Talk with Bo. Again, 2 former great shows now blended into one, started August the 26th. It's been a What's Your Beef Wednesday presented by Richard's Country Meat Market. We're back tomorrow at 6 a.m.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV